Time keeps on leaving and we keep on moving. When do we pass on our wisdom to the youth? My veteran story, lost arts discussions, fireside chats with a bourbon or two. It's time to hear the stories by military veterans. Get yourself ready. It's the Lost Arts Podcast. The Lost Arts with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast. That podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I am your host, Andrew Cox, and today we'll be having a fireside chat with the crew. But before we get in the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? Then go to thelostart.podbean.com. Go check out the website, see what all we got going on there. Also, there's a merchandise tab. You can click on that merchandise tab, go get you a cool hat, get you a cool shirt, get you something, and help support us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. You can also check us out on YouTube at The Lost Art with Andrew Cox. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe. And if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, then email me directly at The Lost Art with Andrew Cox at gmail.com. To all the listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. It is much appreciated. All right, I got the crew here. I guess we can go ahead and start. We'll go round robin. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing good. A little tired today. Started by working on a car that the exhaust had come loose and was dragging on the ground. I will not mention names or who it was. My daughter's boyfriend. So I hooked his car up. Then I came in for a short break, about 2 hours because I needed it. Almost died from heat exhaustion. And then being the hard charger I am, said, you know what? The lawn's not going to mow itself. I would say that another way. I won't do that here. So the lawn needed to be taken care of. So I did that for a little while and also almost collapsed from heat exhaustion. So pounding water and staying motivated and change my socks.
That's nice. Yeah, that always helps.
Full day's work today.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Working hard. I like it. Mike, how are you?
Good. I attempted to try to do some yard work today, but it would rain, the sun came out. It rained, the sun came out, and finally I was just like, oh, screw it, whatever. Pretty decent week. Wasn't too overly stressful, so I'll take those when I get them.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it. All right, Vic, how about you?
Life is good. Life is always good. Today's cigar is another one of the Crown Heads. This one is called Four Kicks. Their website says that it starts off bold and in your face, and then has a rich finish. I don't know what that means, but we'll find out. This is a Robusto size, 5x50. So looking forward to it. I'll give you a review at the end.
I think they put a $5 bill toward the end of it, so that's why it's rich.
If we could be so
lucky.
You
smoke. Yeah. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing outstanding out here. Nice and hot weather during the day, but cools down perfectly at night. No humidity. Actually, I guess there was a little bit of humidity. There was a storm down in Mexico, so that always gives us a little bit of humidity now and then. But other than that, like I said, it cools down. Like right now, it's just probably about like 72 degrees out, maybe, if that warm.
Very nice. That is good. I think it's around 79 here. That's the first time since I've been here. It got down in the 70s, I think. But it's actually really nice here too. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to have veteran news with Mark. So going right back at you.
I'm going to reconnect and go back over the VA loans because I learned a little more about them the more I keep studying. So with the VA loan, there's you can you can buy land. So you can also buy land with that. And then you can also do building. So you can get a loan to build your house. You buy your land, you want to build your house, and you get approved for it. They got to approve the plans and all that. There'll be a block of money that is approved for the whole thing. But then on your building, just like in the regular construction industry, you'll be paid that money in phases, so that once you do the foundation, plumbing, all that good stuff. So it'll go in phases. Now, one of the great things, if you're a veteran and you have, say, you want to go do a VA loan with, say, another veteran, you could buy a 7-unit property. You live in one.
Oh, wow.
The veteran lives in one, and you can rent out the other 5. Okay. And then with the going rate for rent that is in the area, the VA will take that in consideration. So those 5 units, let's just say here in Southern California, you're renting out those 5 units for $2,000 a piece. The VA will take that in consideration for your income. So right there, there's $120,000 of extra income to go towards your qualification. Now, if you are a veteran and you want to partner up with a non-veteran, you could get a 5-unit building. Live in the 2, each of you live in 1, and then rent out the other 3. And it's the same thing. They will take into consideration that rent that you're going to receive towards your loan. One thing about another great thing about the VA loan is the qualifications to get that VA loan is you have to intend to live into it as your residence for a year. There's the key word there is intend. And that's why a lot of veterans are purchasing a house, moving into it, and then they go find another property, and then they can transfer that VA. So they rent this one out, refinance it, and then go get another property right away. And so then it also goes, you can buy a property even if you're getting close to your transfer. If you're an active duty military, if you're getting close to your transfer time, you can still buy that property because they can't stop you from transferring, of course. So the key word is intend to live in that as your primary residence. And of course, you do have to show that's going to be your mailing address at the first part and everything. But the VA loan is just phenomenal. Like I said, our officers know the deal. They purchase a place on the West Coast, they get transferred to the East Coast, they just rent that West Coast place out. They purchase one on the East Coast at Lejeune, then they get transferred to Quantico. They do the same thing there. They go get transferred to Hawaii. Same thing. Now they're on their 4th duty station. They own 3 houses. The officers are good at it. Us enlisted, we did not get mentored properly on that. So hopefully we can start doing a little better at that. But as far as the veterans that are out there, they can tie that VA loan with land and a building and a business. So just they get that business plan. They find that piece of property. The VA loan will help get that process all started.
Wow. That's quite a bit for the VA. I didn't realize it was that extensive, especially the renting the units out.
I didn't realize that either, but that's just phenomenal.
I mean, that's basically going to pay for the every month's rent or whatever.
It is
the payment for the house, which is incredible.
Correct. Yep. It'll make that mortgage payment.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, very cool.
Now, the one thing, there are lenders that don't understand all these things. They say they're a VA friendly lender, but they're not always up to speed on all that goes into a VA loan.
Now, do you, I know that there are some veterans that have gotten out, and they are actually doing, working with real estate and stuff like that. And that's what you're doing as well. So I'm assuming, you have a website or something for that, or,
I don't have my website up yet. That's all in
okay,
the process. I'm just kind of one of those slow ones.
okay. Yeah. All right. Well, they can always shoot a message or whatever to the podcast here, and I push them in your direction if they have questions, I
Perfect.
suppose. Yeah. All
Perfect.
right. Sounds good. I like it. Anything else, Mark?
Not as of today.
Okay.
Just waiting for those later comments after everyone gets their little key pieces done.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Well, let's move on to military news with Vic.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of our peer adversaries parking boats off our coasts. So on June 12th, Navy flotilla in international waters got within 30 miles of Florida. Navy deployed 2 ships to watch them. On July 9th, China put a ship within our what is it called? Basically the U.S. exclusive economic zone, which extends 200 nautical miles from our shores. So China parked a boat off Alaska within 200 miles. Actually, I think it was 124 miles from Alaska.
Wow.
And then July 16th, we had the Chinese aircraft carrier Shandong launches 240 stories in the Philippine Sea. And then the last thing I have is right now. Well, I say right now. According to where'd it go? As of 2023, which is our last count, the last time Congress was briefed on the basically Chinese capabilities. The Chinese Navy is sitting at 328 ships, and the U.S. Navy is sitting at 289 ships. Now, given the current political crisis, which I'm sure Aaron's going to talk about a little bit, maybe touch on current events. I'm wondering what implications this might have for the next 4 months, or even until January, until the next 6 months. I think if anybody's feeling froggy, right now would probably be the best time to jump, which is a little scary.
Yeah, that's true. And correct me if I'm wrong. President Trump, I saw something where, or former President Trump, sorry, that said, I can't remember who he's talking to, but he was said, well, they better give up our hostages or whatever before I get in office. Is pretty much what he said. And I'm sure that everybody is thinking the same thing. What happens if he goes back in office? You know, you're talking about China, Russia, you know, all of those places. But it's scary right now. I agree.
He was referring to Hamas.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he's already telling folks, like, if I get in there, it's coming. So be ready.
Yeah, but it's still too big of an if for me, you know. Especially now that I don't want to take Aaron's thunder if he's going to talk about you know, current situation with the president, but I don't know. It really bothers me that everybody has decided that Joe Biden is not capable of being president for the next term, but he's still capable of being president for the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. That bothers me a lot. And I don't see Kamala Harris having enough intestinal fortitude to 24th, 25th Amendment his ass. So this is it's concerning to me. I think if anybody is feeling brave right now, they're probably gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I hope not, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Nobody knows
that's
the future.
insane.
Yeah.
and they're parking their stuff right off our coast, uh, and we're not doing pretty much anything about it, which is the even more scary.
Yep. I mean, they're getting as close as they can in international waters without crossing the line. But it's a show force. Make no mistake.
Mhm.
I mean, China floated a spy balloon across our entire country without
Yeah.
any repercussions.
Hmm. Yeah, and at least the Marine Corps, they've been talking about China for a while now. They've been prepping and getting ready and saying, "Hey, we need to start thinking in that direction," long before anybody else was really seeing it as a threat, which is good for the Marine Corps. But I don't know about the other services if they were jumping on board with that or not. I'm not sure.
I believe they are because before when I was still active duty like 2 years ago, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps in the ACMAC, not the ACMAC, the SEAC, that's what it was. The senior enlisted to the Joint Chief of Staff. They did a tour. The two of them toured many bases. And they came to Paris Island, and they talked about the 2030 plan for the Marine Corps, and they talked about our peer adversaries, and they talked about where the DoD is pointing its focus. And since the SEAC was there, I'm assuming all the rest of the branches are at least talking about it.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, awesome. Anybody else have anything on it? Is that it? Yeah.
Tough crowd today, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know.
no. All Kamala, all she'll do is cackle and talk in riddles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all she's.
we can roll into it. That was going to be one of my topics for current events.
All right.
the
Well,
news,
hey,
the news
let's
makes
roll
itself.
into it. Let's roll
All
into
right.
current events with Aaron. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So the news makes itself, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the in the election year, and Vick already touched on it. It's I hope they do the right thing and they don't just they kind of allow they need to allow some type of well, their primary is already done, right? Correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. So their primary is already done, but they need to do some kind of democratic, formal process to select another candidate. However they figure that out, that's up to them. But at the same time, I don't see throwing Kamala in there as the it's a word I'm looking for, basically the anointed one.
De facto.
Hey, you're it. She's part of a failed administration, no matter how they spin it. If you read Biden's letter, he's like, "Oh, we done great things," and this. No, you did not. Who keeps telling you this stuff? The American people are not telling you this stuff. That being said, some of those folks that were kind of on the fence, teetering one way or the other, will probably, especially if they were left leaning anyway, will probably swing back to the left side, more than likely. Again, depending on who they pick, but they know what they're doing. Let's just put it that way. And I would say another quote unquote close election run, there's probably going to be some questions asked by the American people. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this just shows how failed of administration they are. They wait until the very last minute. I think they said 20, I think it was like 29 days or something like that until the DNC.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right after the Olympics.
You're within 30 days of a DNC and you decide now to drop out because people
read something today.
For years.
I read something today that was saying that all the money that has been raised for that ticket, meaning Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they cannot take that money and put it to somebody else So Biden put all his support behind Kamala. That way, the money still goes to her, right? Because she's the only one that can get that money. And if
Yeah.
they pick somebody else, then that other person, they're going to have to raise money for that person from a different pot. It can no longer be what it was. That's what, at least what I read and took out of it today.
That's because all the donors were reading the writing on the wall. And why are we going to keep giving money to these when he's going to drop out and she's probably not going to? I think what's going to have to happen is when the DNC happens, the delegates that show up to basically vote and approve, what was supposed to be Joe Biden as their candidate, the delegates are going to have to vote on a new candidate. So now it's not the people voting anymore. It's not the people voting anymore. It's going to be the delegates. So that, like, there's no way to I don't know. It's going to be a lot harder for them to massage the rules or bend the rules when you got the people right there in the audience raising their little signs to vote, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting, like 6 people have already kind of come to the top. But I don't know. I'm watching the news close to see how the Democrats are going to, if they're going to put out anything to say how they're going to select their new candidate. Definitely grab some popcorn.
I was wondering if this is going to help Kennedy any, if he's going to get a bump.
No, he's straight independent ticket.
Yeah.
I'm just
they
talking about
basically
in the
ousted
big
him.
vote, because if Kamala is running on the Democratic ticket, right, and you have those far left, will they go with Kennedy instead of Kamala?
No, I think those that were with Kennedy are staying with him. But like I said, those that are on the fence, I said something about being the Democratic Party and for democracy and this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pulled this up. Dave Portnoy was quoted as saying they whacked Joe when the powers that be sent him out for that debate with Trump. They knew what we've known forever. If you have 2 eyes and a brain, that he was a lettuce head, a vegetable. Wow. They knew exactly what they were doing. That's the problem. They did it in 2020. They hijacked the freaking election in 2020. By covering up the the Hunter Biden laptop. Just even going up to 2020, all the freaking the Russia hoaxes and everything else. They hijack everything, and this is what they do. This is how they quote unquote win. They don't fight a fair fight.
I read an article today that basically they're subverting democracy because the primaries have already gone, and Joe was the person. And now all the people, on Capitol Hill, all the high, Pelosi and Schumer and all of them, Obama, they all talked him out of it. You can't do it because you're losing. You're losing. You're losing. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You have to drop out of the race. Even though the people decided that he was the candidate, the people decided. So who's subverting democracy now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good question.
To me, it's more frustrating because now all these people are coming out saying, "Oh, well, we said, he did a great job. It's time to move over and let the next person take it." And this, whatever, you're blowing smoke. You didn't say anything. Y'all seriously thought that debate that Joe was going to come out prepared because you sent him away for freaking how many days? 6 days, 9 days, whatever it was.
9 days.
9 days to prepare for this, and he came out like a freaking, like Dave Portnoy said, a vegetable. Like, come on, man. To quote Joe Biden, come on, man.
Come on, man. The idea
to think that we would believe that mess.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
For somebody that had so many ideas, I'm surprised he's not running anymore.
So that's the big news. And in other news, as we all know, I'll keep this one short, but y'all are seeing all the craziness coming out of this attempted Trump assassination, right?
There's been
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's just, it. Well, I don't. This is again, we're never gonna know the full truth. Just like the freaking Biden documents investigation with her, uh, and they wouldn't release the audio on that because they don't want us to know what we already know. You know,
Right.
it's freaking crazy.
Wow. What is the biggest things that you've seen on that as far as theories and or things that have actually been found out that they've been pushing?
One of the biggest ones that troubles me is I get it. They are probably shorthanded. I understand that. And they've got commitments all over the world. I'm not putting that on the people of the Secret Service.
Mhm.
All right. When I say the people, I mean the special agents of the Secret Service.
Right.
And those officers. What I'm putting that on is the people in charge that mismanaged it, that probably knew of some things well beyond that. One of the things I'm seeing come out is that there were reports well prior to, and he never should have went on stage. Now, I just read an article that he stated that he was not told that there was a possible threat.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to the people in charge. If you're in charge of something like that, then take charge.
Extreme
Yeah.
ownership.
I mean, that's look at you throwing out some good books there. Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
they
don't know,
saw
man.
him. They saw the shooter an hour before the rally with a rangefinder, and they
Yep.
tagged him then. Like we
An
got this guy
hour
with the range.
before.
An hour before he was like messing around the building where he was at with a rangefinder.
Wow.
And then they knew
So
he's up there. I don't know.
what I don't who was it that saw
I
him an
left
hour
off.
before?
Dang it.
Was that somebody in
You can do it.
like
You can do it.
police or anything like that?
That was supposedly
I'm
a
locked out.
law enforcement
Dude.
officer, whether it was Secret Service or local law enforcement. I'm not sure, but it was an official.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the crowd. Now, mostly what you see from the crowd was right minutes before, right? Within
Right. Yeah.
a minute and a half leading up to the shooting. That's what I'm hearing. There's another video that shows another angle where, so directly behind the stage, the counter sniper teams were on the roof. One was focused in the direction of the shooter, but there was like a tree that was kind of blocking the view. The other sniper team was focused in the other direction, but when the word came across, when they started yelling, "Hey, he's on the roof," and apparently the officer tried to get on the roof, they radioed in. You could see there's another video angle where that sniper team turned and got on the other side to focus in, and they brought him up pretty quick, but he had already started firing, and that's the team that took him out.
Wow. So in the video, that probably the one I've seen, the ones that were directly behind on the roof, they're not the ones that actually took the shot, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. They didn't, because their view was obstructed. There's like a tree. You can look it up. Just Google it. You can look it up. People have done all kinds of friggin', their own investigation. Experts. When I say experts,
Right.
It's prior law enforcement that I'm watching. Like if I see some random Joe Schmo get on there and he's never been law enforcement, military, or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're just going off of what you're hearing. But there's been a couple of contractors, overseas contractors that have actually, no kidding, been in gunfights and have been part of local police, sniper, SWAT teams, etc. That kind of have an educated opinion on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff out there. The one thing that gets me is, like Vick said, they spotted him an hour prior to with a rangefinder. I heard another one that he had a drone earlier that was up in the air.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't confirm that one to see, how many people were reporting that, but
But we can't have drones up for our own security.
oh, well, that's the main thing is people are like, that's within if the president can be shot by, say, large caliber rifle, we'll go with 50 cal. That's within the perimeter of of security.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 150 yards is absolutely within the perimeter. There shouldn't be anything flying.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When it first happened, and I told everybody what just happened, I was telling my family, I was like, this guy had to have shot from 500 to maybe 800 yards away. It was because if it was a 50 cal round and it got that close to his head, it would have exploded his head. So there's no way. There's no way it would have been. It was a 1,000-yard shot. It had to have been. I was thinking at least a 500-yard shot. And then when I found out he was 180 or 100 and whatever yards away, I'm like, you got to be kidding me! And not just a building, the next closest building.
Yes.
But the House Oversight Committee has got all kinds of questions. They got all kinds of questions. I listened to a review, and they're like, the Secret Service agency has got a $3 billion budget with a B, $3 billion budget. Now, granted, they do they do fraud and all that kind of stuff. It's not just protecting presidents, but like still, I mean, counterfeit and fraud, but like they don't have that many people to protect. So $3 billion budget, the resources are there. They're just misallocating them. That's what's happening. When you go online and like in an interview, say my number one priority is making sure 30% of the force is female and not protecting presidents, you got some answers. You got some questions to answer.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, now one article I was saw today, who was it said, somebody from the Secret Service said he was tired of people making the female agents feel bad.
Yes. Stop putting down the female agents.
Yes, quit making them feel bad because they feel bad enough as it is.
What?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And they were set up for failure.
Absolutely.
Well, when again, I go back to Secret Service, you're protecting a former president on the campaign trail. You don't want any freaking agent out there. I get it. Oh, we had to pull agents to go do this, that, and the other. I get it. But again, who's in charge? You definitely don't want, PFC, who just, this is their first friggin' time on a team in charge of that, and I'm not saying they were, but I'm just saying it if you look at the overall event that happened, it's like, who was in charge of this? Like, I've never been in law enforcement and very few security details in the Marine Corps, but like, I could have looked at the thing and said, you need coverage here, you need coverage here, you need coverage here. Oh, we got a report of a suspicious person in the crowd using a rangefinder. Okay, get on them now. The president's not going on stage until we figure it out. And I got it. Oh, people are going to say, oh, you're armchairing it. You can say that now, this, that, and the other. I'm like, no, that's like basic stuff.
That is PFC learning how to do range cards. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Here's your left lateral limit. Here's your right lateral limit.
Everything in
this
between
is the range of your
yeah.
This is the range of your weapon system. Make sure that you're within this or that or whatever. I mean, come on, that's very basic.
From 20 plus years ago.
I think Mark is excited because his governor might be one of the candidates for president.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Well, at least we get rid of it.
Its former AG is obviously going to be the
nominee. She's the California AG.
Okay.
Willie Brown's girlfriend.
She did wonders for that state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Didn't she brag about how high her conviction rate was for like marijuana and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then she's joking about how she was
Yeah.
smoking pot,
Yeah.
But even that who
That's
was that?
funny.
Who was the one? During the debates back in 2016, before she dropped out, the one lady was pointing out about that highest conviction rate for blacks in California, and
And Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard,
from
and
Hawaii.
then she pointed out that there's the case where Kamala Harris purposefully kept some guy in prison, didn't release him after he was uh, uh, found innocent, and then also she said she believes Kamala Harris said to Joe Biden she believes him about the sexual assault allegations against him. He said those women deserve to be heard. Then of course, he bought her off by making her the VP pick, and never heard nothing again. And that poor lady gets ostracized bad because she reported him.
Wow.
Yep. Dirty politics. Dirty politics.
Can you ever really trust a politician?
No.
I think
I
if you
trust
ask,
Vick. I trust Vick.
Oh, thanks, man.
I think if you ask most Americans at this point in time, nobody is trusting the politician except for Vic, of course. But nobody's trusting politicians. Yeah, stick that chest out, man. Suck that gut in. Oh man. Well, anything else on that before we move on?
No,
We gotta
nothing
move-
else on that. Real quickly, did anybody notice an IT outage last Friday?
Oh yes. Yeah. That was huge down here in San Diego.
CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company that has, this one platform that deals with that. Apparently, they pushed an update that affected Microsoft on Friday. I won't go into too many details due to time constraints, but they were working on it basically all day Friday, and I believe they are still sort of working on it and finishing up some of those that didn't get taken care of as of last week. Basically, gave them the blue screen of death. So, there's a security setting within Windows operating systems. It's mostly people that were using Microsoft platforms for like their support. So a lot of airlines got grounded. A lot of banks were affected. So like Friday morning, I got up and I usually go to the store first thing, get coffee, energy drink, whatever. And I go in the store and they're like cash only. Go to the next store, cash only. Next store, cash only. I'm like, what in the world's going on? Because I work in IT. We get on the meetings and I'm like, hey, does anybody notice this, that, and the other? And of course, I work with a lot of developers and they're like, oh yeah, this is what happened. And I was like, great.
Wow.
So, but a lot of flights affected, a lot.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the blue screen of death. So this must have been happening for years and years and years. I mean, that's pretty much all we got when we were working in the military is the blue screen of death.
Well,
or at least for me.
Setting, so yeah, there was probably something that didn't update right or something like that. So
yeah. Wow. And
I mean,
Mark, you said you were affected by it.
Death, and then I'm sorry, I've seen people get the blue screen of death, have to go to the S6, and then they start investigating. Unauthorized websites.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for that.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So, honorable mention before we go on to our happy story. I just want to say, because of Chevron deference being overturned, and now the presidential immunity stuff, almost all the cases against Trump are either in the process of being thrown out or have been thrown out. So, like that, almost all of that. So, I'm interested to see how his 34 count convictions in New York turns out, because he's appealing it. So we'll see what happens there. But
well, you'll have to explain some of that to me, because I didn't see all that. Wait, so let me in on the secret here.
So like the Chevron deference was basically agencies that pass rules, without any type of oversight, and they were put in charge of enforcing those rules. Okay. So some of these agencies were or some of these rules are what some of these lawyers were using against or as backing for some of their cases. The presidential immunity case is saying that while Trump was acting as president, he has immunity if he was directly in the capacity of his office, he's immune. If it was, I can't remember the exact word that they used, but if it was understood that he was working in his office, then he has probable immunity, which a lot of these cases are against him while he was in office. Most of it, especially all of his stuff in Mar-a-Lago. So when, as president, he had the right to have these documents. So he was in acting in a capacity as president, whatever, that he could keep these documents. All presidents have done it. His letters with signatures on it that he wanted to keep for memorabilia and all this kind of stuff. So all that stuff got thrown out because they had no basis anymore. So we'll see how the rest of it goes. And then of course what's happening in Georgia, with the election fraud stuff. He was still president when it happened, but when he said, hey, when he called Mike Pence and said, hey, don't certify these, even though probably should not have done that. He was still, in acting as capacity of the president. So he still had immunity at that point. But also Georgia in its own right is getting thrown out because both those lawyers are criminal. And they're it's all that mess. But it's the whole law. They call it the warfare against Trump. Almost all these cases, if they haven't been thrown out, they're in the process of being thrown out.
Wow.
I got
and one
for the hacks in the room. Is that similar to Gunnery Sergeant or Staff Sergeant Cox going and saying, hey, find me 10 recruits, and then all of a sudden a hazing incident comes up, and because he said find me 10 recruits, he's to blame?
Wow. Why'd it gotta be me?
I just thought it'd be funny, but
yeah, I hear you.
So I also think there's one of the Chief Justices is asking the question about the New York case, that special prosecutor. He has all that power, and it's unconstitutional that he was not appointed in a proper way. So there's that
he was not a state attorney. He was not a state attorney. Biden just appointed him. He said, I want you to do, or Merrick Garland just appointed him. Sorry.
Merrick Garland.
But I just want you to do this. I want you to be the guy that does that. And he wasn't a U.S. attorney.
Yeah, private practice, and then just like you said, just told, hey, I want you to do this, and not approved through Congress. So, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. It's amazing.
Yeah. So also with what do you think the Democrats are going to do with those 100 million pre-cast ballots they already got filled out?
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Like, dang it.
The mules are
don't worry.
Wouldn't that be a kicker if still people voted for him?
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They will. And also, I was just seeing something on Facebook where Wisconsin and another state don't allow the candidate to be changed.
Yeah.
Except by death. That's the only reason that it should happen.
Apparently, I think there's a total of 16 states.
16 of them like that?
Yeah. Once their primary's done, it's done. So
that means those 16 states, they won't be able to work around it, or at least from what I see. I'm sure they'll
just
find
like
a
the
way.
Marine Corps, I'm sure there's a waiver for everything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they'll figure out what laws they need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they only got like 29 days to do it or some shit well, not 20. Well, I guess until November, it's 5th or 6th, whatever. It's a little early this year, but they'll figure something out.
The screaming hearts are all,
and
they're all working hard.
And I wonder how pissed Joe Biden's going to be when someone finally tells him he's dropped out.
Well,
Because you know they just printed that shit up and mailed that, sent that out without telling him.
I wonder if he's found out he's the actual president. Has it happened yet? I don't know. Throw that out there.
Trump's
So-
vice president. So
Well, I want to know who's going to debate Trump in September.
Ooh,
Because
a
Biden's
good
supposed to
question.
have 2 debates with him.
can't debate.
I bet
it.
you they're not going to have another debate.
Well,
There's not going to be one.
If Kamala's their person, I want to see Kamala debate him. Man, I want to see that bad.
They're not gonna let that happen. There's no way. There's no way. All right.
I've
Well,
got some
let's-
people saying that Michelle is gonna come out of this.
Big
this-
Mike. Big Mike's going to jump in
Big Mike.
Yeah.
because they're saying
Yeah.
Obama's not supporting Kamala.
Yeah.
He is not. I would not
He-
put. I would not discount Hillary Clinton either.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if the rest of them can get behind her, but great point.
Yeah. I can see Michelle before anybody else.
Well, at least she'd be out there swinging her dick at everybody.
All right. So now that Mike's chimed in with some great news here, go ahead. Good news stories. with
Now let's hear
Mike.
that feel good story now.
That's what he said.
Oh,
I got a drink from my mug here.
yeah.
Love it.
Make sure you flex a little bit, stretch.
Oh, the shirt.
See that?
Yeah, I gotta get the
Yeah.
shirt in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know
Oh
it.
man. Oh my gosh.
Hispanic.
So who are you going for, Mike? I mean, I can't
What do you
tell.
mean? Voting?
Yeah.
Oh, this is just
Voting for
something
the
laying around the house. I just put it on. That's all.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good because I get text messages from Trump every day. Hey, this is Trump. I'm like, yes. Then I clicked on it. I finally clicked on it. I was like, shit, you want me to give you how much? Oh, bullshit. I'll vote for you, but I ain't giving you no damn money. Sorry.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell?
Hey man, he's working it hard. I mean, he's going all the way to you to say, hey, please send me some money. So
Yeah, I had
he's
a,
trying to recoup the 4 years of president where he didn't get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, Friday I got home from work and walked in the house, and all of a sudden I hear dogs. I was in the bathroom, I was up in the bathroom washing my hands or whatever, and dogs are just going ape shit. And all of a sudden my phone goes ding, 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 my Ring camera. And I'm like, I figured it was like FedEx or UPS or something to get, Amazon crap. And I hadn't, I still had, because unfortunately I drive in some areas, dirt roads and isolated areas. And, I do carry a gun. So my shirt was up, and I usually don't, it's usually covered, but my shirt was behind the gun. And I look out the window and I see some dude in a suit standing on my front porch. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I unlocked it and swung the door open real quick, and he jumped back, and I was like, can I help you? He goes, oh, yes, sir. I'm so-and-so with he pulls his badge out with a Republican thing for Trump. We're just asking, who do you plan on voting for this year? And I turned it up, and he saw the gun. He goes, don't have to answer that question. I said, I didn't think I had to, but he saw the gun. He goes, I guess I didn't have to ask you that question, did I? I was like, no, sir, you did not. Well, have a good day.
I thought you were gonna say that the IRS agent was standing there.
Well, that's what I thought at first, because I was like, what the hell is this shit? They freaking on Mark, now they're on me. What? I didn't do nothing. California's a great
You're
state.
just associated with him. It's going
Yeah,
around.
you're
It's going
associated
around.
with me.
California's a great state. I just can't afford to live there, so that's why I'm not there.
Oh man, that's good. All right. Well, Mike, do you have good news this week or
Yeah, I was reading an article. It was a week or so ago now, and I kept forgetting about it. I guess it's good news. We all buy, appliances, refrigerators, stuff like that. And if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you'll see like dented up refrigerators,
Mhm.
maybe like a scratch and dent, stuff like that. And I was, I don't know, I just came across the article somewhere and saved it. But I've always wondered, what happens with all that stuff? What does it, if it doesn't sell, does it go back to the manufacturer? What do they do with it? Does it go in a damn landfill and stuff like that? And the article was saying that in each year there's over 24 million metric tons of carbon emissions contributed to e-commerce returns, like online, like Amazon sales and
Yeah.
appliances, large appliances, crap like that. But a lot of companies like Amazon just says, "I just keep it. It's not worth sending back," or the dollar value, just keep it, whatever. But the article is based off of Whirlpool, that they had started a program called the Feel Good Fridge Program, where they actually take damaged or returned refrigerators and stuff like that, refrigerators primarily.
Mhm.
And they like if they go to deliver something to you from Lowe's, let's say, and it's got a big old dent in the side of it, you're not willing to take the $100 off of it. It's just a dent, we'll give you $100. It's like, no, that's not what I paid for. Whirlpool now insists that if they receive those back, they get sent back to Whirlpool. And what they're doing with them is fixing what they can. If it needs refurbished or cleaned up, or if it's too extensive, they fix it. But they're donating all these refrigerators to food shelters all across the country.
Wow.
And they said that, well, there was a number here, now I forgot. They said, like, for this calendar year so far, they've distributed over 900 refrigerators, and they've partnered with another program to donate 250,000 pounds of food along
Oh
with
wow.
refrigerators. So they go into, food banks and stuff like that. And they don't care if it's got a dent in the door, or, all
Yeah.
they care is that it works and it's holding the product so they can feed people and stuff like that. But they said they worked with, they partnered with like HelloFresh and another company, Total Quality Logistics, where they've been able to set up in Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Houston, LA, Minneapolis, Orlando, Phoenix, and it says Western Michigan. But by their numbers, they started it in 2021, but they didn't have it didn't really pick up till last year and this year. But they said so far, way they look at it with what they've donated on these fridges, which if they have an issue with the refrigerator that's donated, Whirlpool pays for free service on them, and if something happens, they replace it with a brand new one. At
Wow.
that point, there's no charge at that point. But they said in the last 3 years, they've been able to feed over 44 million people through this program of donating
Wow.
these refrigerators and stuff. And I thought that was a neat thing when you
Yeah.
stop and think about it, because they said they used to, if there was usable parts, they would sell, take parts off and reuse them or sell them like wholesale parts and stuff.
Hmm.
But they said even the cost of that was, what scrap and what waste and what ended up going to the landfill, what couldn't be recycled, stuff like that was still more than what they were willing to deal with. But they said they want to have close by 2030, almost 3,000 locations across the country set up where
Wow.
they actually send in refrigerators. And I thought it was that's a pretty decent article as far as,
That's really
hey,
cool.
yeah,
So do they do anything else as well, or is it just refrigerators that they do right now?
at this point, I think it's just refrigerators, freezers, stuff like that for
Yeah.
storage for food. But what they said with them partnering with HelloFresh and TQL, this Total Quality Logistics or whatever, that's why their plan is they're able to have over 3,000 locations with that, just by partnering with them. And HelloFresh is then donating the food to these locations. So they're getting fresh produce and
Wow.
stuff like that, which I thought was pretty neat, especially in today's world, you know, and the economy we have now where you can hardly afford to buy anything, you know, and it was supposed to, all of us that make less than, what is it, 400,000 a year or 500,000 a year, we weren't going to be impacted by taxes or anything like that. But you know, the people,
Can you tell my pocketbook that? Because
yeah,
it
exactly.
didn't get that memo.
Well, I was hoping if Trump gets in there, we're all gonna get checks in the mail again. It's like, here's all your
That's what I'm
taxes you
talking
paid on
about.
the last.
Shoot, send them my way. I ain't gonna turn it down.
Like I said, I thought it was a pretty neat article. You stop and think
Absolutely.
about returns and waste and things like that.
Yeah.
Like they said, you know, cosmetically, there's nothing wrong with them other than maybe minor repairs, and they fix them.
Mhm.
And they said it's cheaper that way, and there's still use. So
Mhm.
in a way, they're recycling, not necessarily trash. They're trash, but you know, they're able to get it out there and it actually serves a purpose in a good way for people. So
I mean, it's better than a landfill. You
yeah,
know.
well, that's what they said. That was the biggest problem they always had was disposal, which turned into, once, you know, any of the coolant was drained out of them,
Yeah.
you know, or people would scrap them for copper or whatever they could out of them. And then, you know, they just went into landfills for
Right.
years and years and years. And they said they found this as a good solution for their waste,
Yeah.
and they're
And
doing something good with it.
Aaron, here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, there's a Whirlpool factory. I don't know if they do refrigerators over there though. But one of
I
them
didn't
is
know
there.
that. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
And also, did you read that article that I sent you? I sent all you guys, but I was saying there's just some really smart people in Arkansas. That kid got
Yeah.
a perfect
Yeah.
score on his SAT
Yeah,
while playing football and stuff. So
there's a handful.
yeah,
That's about
that's
it.
pretty good.
I didn't get that.
I got one of those numbers on my SAT. I won't say which one, and it was one of them.
Doing better than me. I didn't even take SATs or ACTs. So there you go.
I got a lot of drool on it.
I guess there's a reason we're not officers. There you go. All right,
Probably
Mike,
more
you got anything
educated.
else?
Vick should have been.
Oh yeah, Vick's got his degree. That's why he's in politics. That's what it is. He's got his I don't know. What do you have? Bachelor? Mark, you got
Yes, I
one
have
too,
a
don't you?
bachelor's of education, and I think I'm going to go for I haven't decided if I want to go for my master's in education or get my master's in conducting, but I think I'm going to start my master's within the next year or so.
Nice. And Mark, do you have a degree?
I got the bachelor's and the master's in business administration.
Oh, dang. No wonder they say you're the greatest generation. Man. That's
Yeah. I got
That's
a
what Mike
diploma
said
in
last.
band instrument repair. I mean, excuse.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's more than I got.
I used to have just a PhD, a private high school diploma.
Yeah, I figured that's
what I
what
got.
Vick would be going for, to get his doctorate or something, so we could call him Dr. Victor Nay.
Dr. Nay.
Stand by. Eventually.
Ooh,
I don't know if I could say that, Dr. Nay.
Dr. Nay.
Can't be any
You're
worse
always-
than Dr. Biden.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Jill.
Yeah. Who insists on being called doctor.
Really?
And,
Oh man.
and she has her own, she made the president's own, write her own theme, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So that was
that's
true.
debunked. That's debunked.
Really, is it?
Yeah. So they do play music for the first lady. However, I think it was somebody in the band, or somebody said they didn't necessarily like the tune. It wasn't her. It was somebody else. So somebody in the president's own either wrote or arranged another tune, and that's what they play. And apparently, whoever it was that told them that, they like it better. So technically, was there a tune written specifically for her? I mean, yes, because she is the first lady, but that wasn't necessarily the reason. And I got that straight from individuals up there. So
Oh, all right. Well, fair enough.
yeah, we debunked it. We're debunkers. Mike, you got anything else?
I just got an alert on my phone. Any of you have USAA, bank with USAA, or have USAA insurance?
Yeah, I
No.
have.
You can USAA now offers pet insurance.
Wow.
Hmm.
Interesting. You're not a member of USAA there, Andrew?
No,
Come
no.
on,
I'm
man.
Navy all the way. Navy
I
all the
got
way,
Navy
baby.
Fed too, but I've got my house under our homeowners
Oh,
and all that, our car insurance under USAA.
I don't.
And hence
Don't
why he
know.
hasn't got his awning replaced.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. Thanks again, Aaron.
Yeah, when
Always
are we
looking
going to
out for
start
me.
that GoFundMe for that?
Always looking out. Constant reminder.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe for my awning soon. So
Yeah, we can put that out there and have a video of,
Yeah.
for the price of a cup of coffee a day, you can help the awningly challenged. It'll have Andrew like
Was challenged. Yes.
Andrew will be standing
I'll take a picture when it's raining, standing next to the RV.
That's funny.
Oh my
outside
God.
without an awning.
Oh, hey, I got a dog. Just showed up out of nowhere.
How's the cat?
It's not supposed to be out here. Oh, the cat is wonderful. Wonderful. You know how I said that we found the white cat that followed us and all that other good stuff, right? Well, the owner finally said, "Hey, that's my cat." And so we gave the cat back. And my sister, being the most greatest aunt ever, found a stray kitten and is like, "Hey, here's a cat." And she brought the cat. And so it's here and it's surviving, and the dogs haven't killed it, and neither have we. So we're doing good.
Your
But we got
Gila
two
monster
dogs.
or whatever you have hasn't eaten a
Yeah, oh
kitten
yeah.
yet?
So the two dogs, the lizard, a hamster, a cat. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's everything. And then of course us. We're in the motorhome as well. So it's I just consider it my traveling zoo. Yeah.
And now you need his little mini horses or something, and then you can set up a little corral and have a rodeo and
Have a petting zoo everywhere we go.
Couple
We
pygmy
can
goats.
set up at every set up at every KOA, and I'll say, hey, I'll do a petting zoo if you give us the spot for free, and then every day they can come and pet the animals.
That
It's not
might
a
be,
bad
you might be
idea.
able to do it. They
That's not a
might do
bad
it.
idea. Yeah, yeah.
wasn't that Aaron
I
said
don't.
your wife, Aaron, wanted the mini cows or whatever? Those Highland cows? Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to get a couple of those. And
She wants a few of those. She'd probably
Those
have a
are,
whole herd if she could.
those are pretty cool looking cows, though. You got to admit it. I mean, they're small and they got long hair. They're pretty cool.
are they pretty tender meat?
I
I don't
uh,
know. I'm more worried about cleaning
not
up the
bit
cow shit.
one yet.
I shoveled
I'll let
cow shit when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
want to do it as an
I
old
have no
man.
interest in doing that anymore. No.
No.
Hey, but it's miniature. You can use your doggy bags and pick it
Just
up,
a
man.
smaller shovel, that's all.
Yeah, you say that when you're looking at it and say, that came out of you?
Oh God, that's too good. I love it. Hopefully my dog's still around here. I don't know where he's at. Hopefully he's not eating somebody. All right. Well, I guess we should go round robin this last time, hit words of wisdom from everybody. So words of wisdom. We're gonna start this. Yeah, Mark missed the last one. And I think you guys beat him. I think you guys could have beat him last week.
Dang.
I'm telling you, they had some good ones. They had some
shit.
good. We didn't have your zinger. So
I'll be the
somebody
first
else.
to admit mine wasn't an OG one. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm unprepared today.
Oh,
Oh,
dang. Y'all better hurry up before he searches something.
yeah. Maybe you'll spark my memory here.
And he's got a bachelor's and a master's, but he didn't prepare for the podcast. I see.
I know. I know. Gotta watch those guys. Gotta watch them. All right, Mike, hit me with some words of wisdom.
Well, I don't know if it's really words of wisdom, but
If
you
you're
guys
saying it,
probably.
it's wise.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Kiss
You're
ass.
welcome. Get that off there.
You guys may have already seen this online, but it's not really words of wisdom. But would it be ironic if Popeye's chicken was cooked in olive oil?
Oh my God. Oh man. Man, that was good. That was good. All right, Vic, you didn't have anything this last episode, so you got to have something this go around. What do you got?
I don't. I always forget about words of
You,
wisdom.
yeah, I know. Well,
But
tell us about this bold in your face, and what was the other part? Rich at the
Rich,
end. Have you
I
got
will
your five
say,
dollar bill yet?
I have not gotten to the $5 bill. I will say it's a little bit of a rich. It's got almost like a deep chocolatey taste towards the middle, but I'm not impressed. The construction is bad. I keep getting runners where it's high on one side and low on the other.
Yeah.
And the cigar shop that I got it from, all the cigars were out on the table, so I was a little suspect that they might be dry, and this one was. So it started flaking and coming apart. Partly because of the seller and other, I guess maybe in the brand. I give it a solid meh.
What are our different levels? So this is a meh, which it's a middle road, something. Was
Yeah,
that what you would say? What
yeah.
what
I'd
is
say. I
your
mean,
what is
nothing.
your low?
My low is ugh, or
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
And then
for the
good ones
low.
are yeah, But
You have to have a rating that goes with it. It's like, that's a six puffer, or stuff like that. That's a
challenge
10
accepted.
right
I'll come
there.
up with a rating system. I'll come up with my own rating system soon.
We
But
will
this
post
is
it. We will post it so people can follow along on the rating system.
underwhelmed, I guess. But yeah, it's
I mean, it's a smoke.
it is. My favorite cigar
Yeah,
is the one that I'm smoking. So it's
there you go.
What's the
Yeah.
cost of that one?
this
I
one
don't mean
was
if you
no.
don't want to say.
This was retail for $9. You can see that
$9.
$9. Yeah, meh. Get what you pay for,
I
I
mean,
guess.
you got some nicotine. Don't worry, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the
not much of a
important
nicotine
part
bite
of it.
either. So yeah,
Is it
Yeah.
like a box of
Really?
wine at that point?
yeah.
Boone's Farm?
At least a $2 chuck
Cigar.
right here. At least a $2 chuck.
Oh, very nice, very nice. All right, Aaron.
And it just went out. Fuck.
It just went from
It's,
me to
Yeah.
Since this is a veteran,
It went from mad to fuck.
Yeah. $9 doesn't buy you what it used to. Bidenomics.
Bidenomics.
That little kid rolling that cigar was having a bad day, so give him a break.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
was. Yeah, he was. Poor little kid. Feel sorry for him. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying it, Vic. All right,
Yeah.
Aaron, go.
All right, since this is a veteran show and we love to talk and discuss and do veteran things and help our fellow veterans out, I'll leave y'all with courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
That's Mark Twain.
Was that it? Was it?
Yep. Then he goes
No
on and
kidding.
talks about a flea and, how the flea's not really afraid of anything, but it's ignorant, so.
Huh.
So what was it again, Aaron? Trying
It
to
is
remember it.
courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear.
I like that. Yeah. Fear's still there, but you
You always hear a lot of
you
people
overcome it.
say, they're very, they have a ton of courage. They're not afraid of anything. The
Mhm.
fear is there. It's just mastering it.
Yeah.
I think as
Yeah.
veterans, we kind of understand that, and it's always the fear of the unknown, right? You don't know what's
Mhm.
going to happen, so the fear is there. But how do you control that? How do
Right.
you
Yeah.
how do you work your way through it and accomplish the mission and the task?
I like it. Man, that was a good one. And that was Mark
Mark
Twain,
will
huh?
top it though.
Mark, look at him. He's got that grin. You know he's got something up his sleeve over there out in California. All right,
Well, I'm
Mark.
going to quote. I'm going to quote the late great General Patton when he's talking
Okay.
about politicians. Vic, you're not including this, of course. But he
So
said,
this is everybody minus Vic.
minus Vic. He says politicians are the lowest form of human life, and Democrats are the lowest form of politicians.
That was good. You always have a zinger. I like it. And that was Patton, huh? Patton said
That was
that back in the
Patton.
day. Yeah. He had his run in with the politicians, that's for sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah. If
That's
anybody out there hasn't,
one thing he said before he mysteriously got in that accident. But he said he was going to resign his commission and tell the American public what's really going on. And then a week or so later, whoop, accident that they can't find out who ran into him.
Yeah. I think there's a book that talks about it's like killing Patton, I think is
Killing
what it
Patton
is.
by O'Reilly.
Yeah, he has a bunch of the books like that for different individuals, but that's a pretty good book. All right. Hey, thank y'all for coming on. Thanks for letting me be a little bit late today. I apologize, but I appreciate it. I got to visit a buddy that I hadn't seen in a hot minute. Before I even joined the Marine Corps, I think it was the last time we kind of saw each other. But he was in my wedding. Vic, you probably remember Justin Hebert. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah,
I do.
So yeah, Vic was in my wedding too. But so I went down, saw Justin and his family, and visited with them and everything. It was good. It's a good time. So thanks for letting me be late. I appreciate it. Although Mark is like, you can be late every day like this. This is great. It works out good for him. All right. Well, one last time, thank you. I appreciate it. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, you need help, you need anything like that, a VA has some great resources. Make sure you reach out. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on that chat icon. Any of those are going to be able to put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. Remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. The crew cares about you. The entire veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there and you know somebody, please reach out to them and just ask them how they're doing. I just challenge you all to do that to all your friends and all the people that you know that you served with. All right. With that, thanks again. Stay motivated. Change your socks. I'm not going to end it completely like I did a while ago.